process goes in and out every single day is starting to get upheld by the players. They're holding each other accountable. They're truly making each other better. We're dealing with a lot less off the field things and really being able to focus on just us getting better. Haven't done just a ton of situational stuff up until the last couple of days. Started working third down stuff. Have had 2 days of red zone, tight zone work. Really encouraging. Really encouraging at a lot of spots. I'm just really happy with the positive energy, with the intent to come in and work. What I just told these guys, the last 2 days we've worked a ton of red zone stuff. Just execution is all over the place, and that's got to be the next step for us. But I'm really encouraged by the way these guys have come together, by the way this team has come together, the freshmen, the transfers coming in, the standard already being set by the guys that are here, and it's pretty cool to watch as you kind of observe the way these guys are working. So really proud of where we are. I think these last 8 days for us, execution standpoint, you want to see it at a high level. We've got a Fast Friday type practice on Thursday, more of a fast run through, and then we'll scrimmage Friday night here. The scrimmage Friday night, which will be the first time we've had a night scrimmage since we've been here. We'll scrimmage Friday night. It's a student appreciation practice, so we'll have a bunch of students here. Message to the students will be come out, have a fun night. We'll have a DJ, we'll have food trucks, we'll have all sorts of stuff going on for the students. We'll have a bunch of donors on Friday night with an event for them. So the goal is under the lights, let's go have a blast and get after it. We've had one full padded practice where we've tackled a little bit. I think from an execution standpoint, again, you want to go give it another shake because, again, first time tackling since Christmas Eve. Didn't look like what you want it to look like. So we'll get another opportunity at it Friday, but I'm really encouraged. I'm like hyped up to get to practice every day because it's been a fun, exciting journey. Questions?
Alex, one of the young men we'll be meeting with here today, Josh, if you could, obviously brings a wealth of experience, and if you could talk about the spring that he has had in adjusting to another program.
Yeah, Josh Celiscar has been kind of a breath of fresh air. He's a guy that I was fortunate enough to be around as a freshman, and then I left, and I know I said it before, a young man that started a bunch of games down the road and ended up being a captain there. Left for what he perceived to be a better opportunity, and then had 1 year left. And, man, that recruiting was awesome because really it's like, amongst all this craziness in college football right now, he wanted to get closer to home. He's married, has a little girl, wanted to get closer to home. And he's the same guy I remember as a freshman, just 4 years more mature, older. Like I said, he's got a family. He's got a different perspective on it. Man, instantly earned the respect of this team, instantly earned the respect of certainly his position group. Become a leader. The guys asked to have him on the leadership council a month into him being here, which says a lot about him from a leadership standpoint. He came in play end. He's played some end, played some inside for us. He's about 40 pounds heavier than the memory I had from when he was 18 years old, but gives you a ton of position flexibility. Plays with his hair on fire. We show attack clips every day, meaning guys that are playing harder for longer, guys that are standing out from an effort standpoint, and he consistently is on that film. It's a little bit of that leadership we needed on that side of the ball. Really, we needed on the team that he's brought. He's brought this veteranness, this confidence. Played so much football. I mean, so much football. And for us, in this case, this transfer portal piece has really worked out. And he's happy. Like, he's an hour from home. His wife is an hour from home. He's around family. Man, like, one of the first guys to give you a hug every morning is just grateful to be here. Grateful for him being here, for sure.
Is he just like a wrecking crew kind of a guy who's just going to go blast through and get to the quarterback and create havoc on defense?
You know what? Like I said, he's playing some inside, which he hadn't really done. And it gives you position flexibility because he could play the three, he could play the nose, play 4-eye, he could play off the edge. I think he's still trying to figure it out. He's 7 practices into a scheme he'd never been a part of. So he's figuring out all of it. I think every day he's gotten better and better. He's getting more comfortable. Certainly does a lot of really good things as a pass rusher, but he's 290 some pounds now. Like he adds a lot of value inside in the run game. But certainly when you put him inside, he's a 3-down guy that can play all 3 downs and creates versatility and mismatches inside, but can also rush the passer outside. So certainly an every down guy that you hope can add a ton of value in there.
Coach, I'm going to piggyback from what you first said. 3 years ago, you're going through your first spring. You and your coaching staff have to build a culture outside the locker room. Now you got guys who are going into their 3rd year with you. How important is it that they're building that culture in the locker room?
Yeah, I think you're constantly building the culture. You know, I tell our staff all the time, you come in every morning, you're gonna do everything you can to protect the culture of what you're trying to build. I think 2 springs ago, it was like, you've heard me say it, but it was gloves off every day. Like, you'd get done, you'd get home, and Lex would be like, man, how was the day? I'm like, literally, I felt like a 12-round bout every day. It was a dogfight. I think now you're at a point where you're constantly guarding the culture, but like I said, the standard at which you do everything is what takes forever to establish. And that's why I've said so many times, you're either going to build a team or you're going to build a program, and we chose to build a program in the sense that for 2 years, and it got better from year 1 to year 2 certainly, but for 2 years, the coaches are the ones holding the standard in every aspect. Certain position groups are better than others, and you recruit, and guys walk in, and they're essentially going to adhere to what's going on, right? And you're trying to recruit guys that are leaders. You're trying to recruit guys that can control the locker room in the locker room. I feel like for the first time since we've been here, the standard is upheld in the locker room amongst the guys. You're seeing that through way less accountability issues off the field. You're seeing that through the coaching on the sideline. Like I said, there's 10 guys that have started a bunch of games that are standing on the side at the end, and they're coaching as harder than the coaches. Like you're trying to grab a young guy to coach him, and somebody else is already coaching him. They're holding the standard within the locker room. Does that equate to wins? Man, in my history, it has. I think it's your best chance. But I think when the standard is held within the locker room by the players, it's going to be harder for those guys to let each other down. And, you know, I just said it to them at the end of practice, like true love is the ability to actually be able to tell somebody the truth and take it. True love player to player is the ability for you guys to tell each other the truth and be able to take it. And you're seeing more and more of that. And I think that part is contagious. It's encouraging in a lot of ways.
Coach, obviously, get through the spring with no major injuries. What's the 1 or 2 things at the end of spring you want to be able to say, yeah, we accomplished that?
Yeah, I think number one, and I've said it to the guys every single day, is you want to build and set an identity on both sides of the ball. I think as you look at our first 2 years, it's been so up and down. When we're good, we're good. When we're bad, we're bad. And it's like there's virtually no in between. And you could pinpoint there's games where you can say, man, like we're somewhere there in between. And whether you come out on the right side of it or the wrong side, that's why I always say we're so process driven. Like you want to go back to the process regardless of the end result. I think for us, where you continuously are trying to build, you want to have an identity on both sides of the ball. I feel like we left the season, and did we get better on defense? We did. Did we get better on offense? We did. Certain stats, we got better. Certain stats, we stayed the same. We didn't get worse. I want us to have an identity on both sides of the ball, and then in turn have an identity as a team. We have, I feel like at times, felt like we had an identity, and then you look at it and you're like, man, like we're kind of all over the place. Now you could blame, man, there was a quarterback change halfway through, injuries to our middle linebacker. Like there's a lot of things you can blame it on. My job is to build a program where no matter who's in there, the identity of the program is the same. And that's the end all. If there was a goal at the end of this whole thing, is have an identity on both sides of the ball. And the second part of it is figure out which of these young guys, which of these transfers could come in and add a ton of value. We got a ton of seniors. We got almost 30 seniors. So a bunch of guys that have been there, done that. You're going to talk to two of them. You're going to talk to Bowman and you're going to talk to Celiscar, like guys that have transferred in, have been through the ups, downs, career-wise, and all they want to do is win. At the end of the day, that's all they want to do. And so for us, if we can have an identity on both sides of the ball, have an identity as a program, these leaders going to the summer continue to push the standard, I think you would feel like, man, the spring was successful.
So you're encouraging as many students as possible to come out on Friday night?
Friday night, yeah, a bunch of students. We need them all. Come out, like I said, it'll be a fun night. It'll be our first time doing it. I think it'll be a fun night. Like I said, DJ. They said maybe you're going to make an appearance.
I'll do whatever you need.
So it sounds like Joey Johnson autographs potentially.
Yeah, that, not value. So what have you seen in terms of, since you've been here, in terms of the way the players relate to students, the way the students follow the players? I mean, obviously, you want to have a relationship where the students feel like they're part of this. What have you seen, and what would you like to see in terms of moving forward?
Yeah, I think last year we averaged almost 10,000 students at every game. You're playing 11 miles off campus. I'd say that's pretty neat. I get this itch of when it's right over here, and the students can just walk to the game. But I think that's what makes college football college football. We've got 53,000 students here, 52,500 students here. College football is what brings everybody together on every college campus. So I love it. I think it's a really, really cool energy. I love when we're at home and you're able to go score on the left side there, right in front of the student section. I think as we continue to have success, continue to build it, I think it can only get better. But I think that's what makes college football what it is. It's the students, it's the passion, it's the painted chest, it's all that. It's super fun.
Obviously, you liked your incoming freshman class because you recruited them. Has anyone surprised you even a little bit more and stood out this spring?
Yeah, I think out of the freshman class, they all have kind of added a little something, offensively, like Corey Pettigrew and Jeremiah Koger, like those two kids are physically and mentally mature beyond their years. It's been really, really cool. I'm just messing with Koger out there in warm-ups. I saw a post that prom is coming up in May, and and so all his buddies are hanging out. Khalil Collins on the O-line, a young man out of Colquitt County, you could tell he came from a program that he was coached up. Like, he came in mentally, physically ready. He's got to make a ton of growth, but it's been beyond impressive what he is. Lachlan Hewlett, these guys will tell you, Locke is better than I thought in terms of one, football knowledge and football awareness, but he's like Coach Gordon said it the other day. You try to describe him, he's a little baller. Like, he's pushing and pushing and pushing. He's gotten better every single day. It's been really, really fun to watch him. On defense, that DB group is pushing. Again, there's some injuries back there, so those guys are able to play with the twos. Like Jeremiah Jones, you're looking out there and like he's a guy that continues to stand out. Really, that whole back end group. We just got Gavin Leach in. He was out for a little bit with a finger. He's been practicing the last 2 days. There's a really cool energy there up front. Eli Jones has done some really, really nice things. Brooks Williams got to put a bunch of weight on, but he's done some really nice things. Again, I think where our culture of the program is, those young guys have come in, and the older guys in that group took them in, and we really were able to put it on them to get them ready for spring. But they're getting a bunch of reps. Again, you got 10 guys out. Really, we got, I think, like 14 guys out right now. But 10 guys that have started games here out. So those guys are getting a ton of opportunities. And I just told them again, I tell them every day, like, you're not freshmen. It doesn't matter. Like, nobody cares how old you are. You look at, like, a guy like Khalil Collins, he's taking reps with the twos right now. And every time he comes off, it's like, man, nobody cares that you're a freshman anymore. And that's how you know you're taking steps as a program.
Seems like every spring there's some guy that emerges, coaches, man, so-and-so had another good practice today, or whether it's a guy or a group, anything that's kind of like, when you coaches are hanging out, what's the story so far? Anything like the job one, that the people that are really putting themselves in front right now?
Yeah, I could confidently tell you, like Bobo Chenault at corner. I mean, had an incredible day again. He stacked day after day after day after day for a guy that played some as a freshman. He's been really, really impressive to watch. Really, really impressive to watch. I think up front, like Mike Williams has taken a step. He's kind of come into his own. The game's really slowed down for him. Bernard Gooden, game's really slowed down for him. We talked about Celiscar already. I think Mac Harris is a guy, the game's really slowed down for him. You kind of see this like switch in some of those guys, but I would say defensively, the guy that's really stood out to me is Chenault. Offensively, Chaz Nimrod's not young, but he looks like he's played in the system for 3 years, because he has, and he hasn't missed a beat. I mentioned Lachlan Hewlett has been really, really impressive. If you're talking truly young guys, Khalil Collins has really, really stood out. I would say that crew, that receiver group, has really stood out. Those young guys as guys that are mature beyond their years.
Anything else, Coach?
Awesome, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Brian.
Appreciate it.
Joey Johnson autographs Fridays.
If you want me to.
I thought that was bobblehead.
You can get yours.
I'm waiting.
Guys, give you Derek Bone. Can somebody acknowledge how good his hair looks right now?
Only earlier today. Derek Bowman started all 13 games last year.
So Derek, what do you think about the Friday night scrimmage with students and try to make it an event under the lights as a player? What do you think that'll be like?
Man, when I heard about it, I got really excited because I think it's a cool deal to get just students over to our practice and kind of get to see behind the scenes of more than just game day. I think it's a great deal. They'll get to feel more invested and get more connected with us as a team, and just kind of build us and the fan base up. So I really like it.
So on game day, obviously, you guys usually go up and slapping high fives, and you're talking to them after the game. And how would you describe the relationship between this team and the student body? I mean, you probably see a lot of them around campus, but how they feel about you, how you feel about them, what's the relationship?
Yeah, there's a lot of support from the students on campus and the student body towards the team. Kind of as Coach alluded to, college football is the great unifier among college campuses, and so. Man, students love the football team. We love the students because they come to support us, and that's that.
How's the offensive line looking? Obviously, some new faces, some returning players. Obviously, how are things looking this spring so far?
Things are looking good. We have a decent amount of guys coming back from injury, which is presenting a lot of opportunity for some younger guys and some guys that haven't gotten a ton of reps in the past to prove their worth and develop a lot individually. And so there's been a lot of growth so far. I mean, we're only 7 days in. We're about halfway through, but there's been a lot of growth so far, and we have a very talented O-line.
Let me ask you, go back to Christmas. You're over in Hawaii, 5 overtimes. Is it going through your mind, is this ever going to end?
Yeah, there for a little bit.
How important was it to finish with a win?
Man, I mean, you don't fly halfway across the world and spend a week practicing in the Hawaii sun not to go get the win. So at the end of the day, that was, I wasn't coming back home without a win. That was my mindset.
Can you feel the growth this spring as opposed to last year?
I can. This is my 5th off season going into my 6th season. So I've been around a couple different spring camps and seen it done a couple times, and it's different every year. It really is. It's kind of interesting. I was thinking about that the other day, and one of the most interesting parts is that each team kind of throughout winter workouts, throughout spring ball, throughout the summer and fall camp kind of builds their own identity, and it makes it that year's team. And this year's no different. And we've had a good spring. We've competed really hard, and I think, as Coach says, we're kind of past some things that we've dealt with in the first spring we were here and last year's spring. And we're to a point now where our focus is on different aspects, which is helping grow the team in ways that we weren't able to before.
Thanks.
Derek, it seems like at college or even pro, the really good teams' offensive line is always a factor. They might not get a lot of attention, but you go in the locker room and they set the tone, they have a personality. What is the personality of your offensive line? And you've got a lot of guys with experience. Can you be the group that sets the tone?
Yeah, I think that's what we strive to be. And Coach Hoodie talks about that's the standard that we set for ourselves, is kind of we set the tone and set the standard of how things go in this program. Just because, like you said, it's the job that we have, is there's no glory in it. And so our job is to get the team as good as we can, and we take that burden and try and bring others along with us.
Maybe along those lines, he said that he'd like to see this team have an identity, establish an identity. Have you given thought to that, and what would you like it to be if it was
Man, that's a good question. I think I'd like the identity of this team just be a tough ball club that kind of stays true to what I think South Florida is about, is physical football players that play downhill. And obviously, you know, we play really fast, and so we play to our technique, but man, we're going to come out and hit you, and we're going to give you all you can eat.
Some new guys be toting the football behind you. What's your impression so far?
Yeah.
Because you lost a lot of production there, of course.
Yeah, pretty much all the backs that were kind of rotating last year are gone. C5 from Charlotte, man, he's really good. Kind of just picked up at the same standard that the guys that had left had set. And then Alvon and J2, man, both of them too, just to see their growth in the past year. And I mean, they're ball players. They can make a play, and we just got to give them the opportunity to do that.
Anything else for Derek? All right.
Nice. Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Stay healthy.
Thanks, appreciate it. Oh, you guys want to take with you?
Y'all go.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Josh is on his way. Appreciate you. Thank you. Should be in momentarily.
Lead.
Did you have the right students on there?
Not aware of any injuries, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't find it.
Same for the gentleman to your left. He said last name of the gentleman to my left. It's number 8.
He went from the American to the Big 12 to the SEC, back to the American.
I believe his first name was
Cover all the
Only
conferences.
in the portal era.
Yeah. Wonder if there's anybody that's played in the Big 10, SEC, Big 12, and ACC.
That's a good question.
Like all the power.
The Thompson kid, well, no, he was at State.
That's like what we're hitting for the cycle. Right?
Yeah, well, you can do it now since there's 4 power conferences.
Yeah.
Louisiana Tech starting quarterback, a handful of starts in his career. He dropped all the way down to Division II. I'm doing a little piece on quarterbacks who dropped down to the FCS, and I found one that dropped down to Division II, simply because of the new head coach was his offensive coordinator. Look at Cade McNamara, he started in the CFP for Michigan.
Where's he?
Was it East Tennessee or Abilene Christian, one of those?
All right, defensive lineman Josh Celiscar, coming from us from Texas A&M, previously up down the road in Orlando.
How y'all doing?
51 career games played, brings to the line. Questions?
So what are you doing at USF, Josh? How did it come about?
Coach Golesh was at UCF with me. I was originally at UCF first, and then I transferred to A&M, and then he came and got me out of the portal. He actually wanted me the first time I entered, and I just said I was gonna go to the SEC route, but that didn't work out, so now I'm here.
Why didn't it work out?
I would say my transition, especially with me becoming a father, in the summertime I had to wait till my baby girl was born, and then I had to go make that transition to get to A&M.
How long have you've been married now, Josh?
We going on about a year and a half now, almost 2 years.
The high school sweetheart?
Nah, she was, my freshman year, it was her cousin that introduced me to her, and I was like helping her move in, and we were just friends at the time, and then we just like pulled it off, and we was like together for a little minute, so now we're together now.
The little one, what's her name?
Nayeli,
Can you spell that?
Nyellie.
How do you balance fatherhood, marriage, football, school?
To me, it's not really that hard whenever you have like a good partner, especially with my wife. She's doing her job at the house, just as a stay-at-home mom. She's cooking, cleaning, taking care of the baby, and she's basically trying to get into a master's program here, and she's working on her GRE right now.
What's your wife's name?
Sage Lene.
Is Nayeli gonna get some football games this year?
Yeah, definitely. She was at some at Kyle Field, and it was like real loud. We had to get her. She had like whole outfits. She needed earmuffs and everything because how crazy it gets. So yeah.
What was it like reuniting with Coach? Even before you came here, your conversations, an opportunity to come back to your home state. If you could talk about that, how the wheels started turning in motion towards you coming to the second year, reuniting with Coach.
So with Coach, leaving from UCF and going to A&M, we was like first talking already. He already had me connected with Coach KP and everything. And then whenever I entered the second time, they came back and got me. Coach was like, I wanted you last year, so I'm gonna play you here. I know your situation. I'm gonna help you guys out as much as I can. So like he make it like easy for me because I'm comfortable here and comfortable with him and Coach KP.
Was it a situation where maybe what you thought of Texas A&M, it wasn't quite what you visualized, and maybe being home was a better situation?
Well, to me, I feel like the whole situation with the A&M and stuff like that, it wasn't nothing crazy. I was happy to get that opportunity to play in the SEC. And once it didn't go the way I planned, it was like, that's just how life goes. You got to just take it with a grain of salt, move on, and just keep working as hard as you can. Now I'm here, and it's like, do what I got to do here and basically take my shot at the league after this year. My bad. Yeah, I'm sweating. I just got out of the shower. Just got out of the shower. I just got out of the shower.
Sounds like you're taking a leadership role right away. Is that what you wanted to do?
That's not what I wanted to do, but with Coach is like, we need guys like you. So now I come in, and it's like whenever we're not meeting the standard, a lot of guys talk about getting to the Final Four and making it to that big stage. It's like, okay, I gotta kind of like uphold y'all to that standard because it's like I know what it takes, and I've seen guys work hard and do what they have to do in order to get to that point. So it's like you just have to hold your guys accountable. Like a lot of these guys, they feel like better with me here and holding them accountable because they didn't really have that in any past leaders.
What are your thoughts on some of the guys, Beasley and Mike, on
Like
better?
Beasley has his vocal, like he's not as vocal, but he's getting to that point. He's working on it. With me, I've been comfortable doing it my whole life. So we have different leaders. Like Beasley leads by example, works hard at practice and does what he has to do. Mac is a great leader vocally. He does everything he has to do as like Coach T.O. always talks about being buttoned up, and Mac's the most buttoned up guy I know. He's work hard. He's on time to everything. He's helping guys whenever they don't know the playbook and stuff like that. So it's just like having those guys around me, it makes me feel better to lead the way I want to lead.
How old are you, Josh?
I'm 22 right now.
When's your birthday?
June 13th, 2002.
Okay. And you're married, you have a kid, you're a little more mature. How does that translate into you knowing the value of doing little things, doing things right, versus maybe somebody coming in? I mean, how have you matured in that manner of knowing how to take care of your business?
I feel like when I first got to college, it was a hard transition for me, like being young, because it's like, okay, this is my first time away from home and stuff like that. But it's just like, once I was growing throughout the years, I just understood that you have to do things a certain way, especially in this business or you're going to be gone pretty soon. So it's just like, I just know I have to do the right things. And I had great examples, like my older brothers and sisters, they all have their wives and they have their kids and stuff like that. So they leading by example, and I'm just following, basically.
Josh, who did you consider, besides UCF, of attending coming out of high school?
I had offers from UCF, Virginia Tech, and I had the Naval Academy. I was thinking about the Naval Academy pretty heavy because they gave me my first offer. But then I was thinking about being closer to home, and it was just an hour and like 20 minutes away from my hometown. So I was just thinking that's the best spot for me.
Could you played 4 impactful seasons at UCF, and you played couple of down-to-the-wire football games against the Bulls. Could you have ever imagined being on the other side of the war on I-4?
I couldn't have imagined it in a sense, but whenever Coach Golesh got here, it's just like that relationship, we already had that at UCF. So it was just like he called me. I already had his number saved, and he's like, and it's like we having a great conversation and stuff like that. So it's just like, it was easy for me because I'm comfortable with him. I'm comfortable with the coaching staff here. So it makes it easy for me to just come here and just do what I have to do.
It's like everything fit perfectly. You not only came back to the Sunshine State, but close to home too, and with somebody you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
How would you describe, Josh, how you play, where you line up, what's it look like on the field?
This year, as far as like what's going on, Coach has me playing a little bit inside because we have like Mike Will and Ira, all the like guys that are kind of smaller than me. So it's like I'm cool with playing inside, playing the 3, playing the 4-eye. That's something that I'm willing to do. If he need me at end, I'm gonna play in every now and then. But right now, I'm an inside guy, playing the 3 and playing the 4-eye right now.
Do you see ultimately in the league you'd be like a guy taking up bodies, or are you an edge guy?
To me, I feel like I could be very versatile. As far as you know how Kansas City uses like Chris Jones and stuff like that, plays him inside and then puts him back on the edge every now and then. I feel like I can do that in a sense. My older brother, he played like DB, and I've always been doing like small little drop back drills and stuff like that. Probably like as an outside linebacker, if they need me to cover a flat or run with a wheel route, I could probably do that too.
Coach said you're about 290, is that right?
Yeah, about 290 right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you were coming out from A&M in the portal, did other schools reach out to you, or was it?
It was 22 schools that reached out to me whenever I entered because they want a guy that's like experienced and that's older and that could lead other guys. I was thinking about Oregon State for a little while. I was thinking about Virginia Tech again, but they didn't have the same coaching staff. And it was all cool and all good, and Pitt reached out to me and stuff, but I just wanted a place that I could just be comfortable. Cause like last year, I just had a sense like I'm not comfortable. I'm coming in pretty late during the summertime, and it's just hard for me to get on the field at the time because you have 2 first-round picks, potential first-round picks that's playing in front of me. So it's a good thing. Like a shout out to like Nick Scorton and Shamar Stewart. Them guys gonna get drafted pretty soon. I know they're probably gonna go top 25. So like I love them guys for sure. I love that whole D line that was there, but I just wanted to be somewhere I was comfortable.
You ask any quarterback, his worst fear is color in his face. So what the Eagles did, just collapse on Mahomes. How important is it to get to the quarterback?
It's really important to impact the quarterback because if he gets comfortable and gets into his rhythm, that's just gonna make it harder for the defense as far as him being connected with the wide receivers and the tight ends and the running backs that's running out the backfield. That just makes it easier for him. So with me, it's just trying to be as impactful as I can. I know my pass rush is not the best, but I'm working on it right now, and I'm trying to get better each and every day.
I gotta ask you this. First time you walked onto the field at A&M with 100,000 crazies in the stands, what went through your mind?
What went through my mind, it was like, they was making it seem like I was gonna play, and I was like, oh, I'm excited to like get my opportunity. And once it didn't come, it was like, I was a little like mad, but at the end of the day, that's how life goes. And I was just happy to just be in the SEC at the time. So yeah, it was a learning experience, and I feel like that's something that kind of molded me into who I'm becoming now.
In your mind, what's your best position?
What's my best position? I've always, like, my whole career I've played in, and I've made a lot of plays at end, and playing the 4-eye, being a big end, really. But I feel like that's probably my best position as of right now, but right now I have to do what's best for the team as far as playing the 3 and playing the 4-eye.
Stand up or hand in the dirt?
I've played both. I've done both. I feel like I could do both, but I want to do what's best for the team right now. That's something that I'm proud of myself on right now.
Thanks.
Josh, what do you want to do when football's done?
When football's done, I was thinking about being a sports psychologist, knowing a lot. I already got my bachelor's degree in psychology right now, and I'm trying to work on my master's. But I just know a lot of athletes that have been injured, and they don't know what to do after football or after whatever sport they play. And it's just like I could be that person to talk to them and kind of advise, because I know, knowing a lot of people, I know where it can like lead to like depression and going through like all that in your mind and just thinking like, oh, if I didn't get hurt, what could have been? So it's just like I know as a sports psychologist, I could be a good advisor, and that's just something that I really feel like that I could do, and I'm confident in.
What is your master's program, Josh?
I'm trying to get into one now. I'm right now. I'm just taking general classes, but hopefully in the fall I can get into a master's program. Yeah.
Is your interest in sports psychology when you go on the field as a leader? You have guys talk to you now? And
A lot of
you sort of getting your practice in?
Yeah, kind of, because a lot of guys they see me as an older guy, but they see me like with a kid and with a wife, and it's just like some guys aspire to get to that point. They're just not there yet. I'm like, bro, don't rush it. That's just what I wanted to do at a young age. That's something that I wanted to do. I didn't want to just like be out and just do whatever I wanted to do in my life. I just wanted to be with somebody, my significant other, be with my baby girl, and just live life. Basically, I love my life right now. I'm really appreciative of my wife and my baby girl. She's just the cutest thing ever. Yeah.
When was your baby girl born? What's the birthday?
May 25th, 2025. 2024, my bad.
2024. Okay,
Yeah.
so she's almost a year.
Yeah, almost a year, yeah.
And what's going on right now? What's life like with her right now?
She's 10 months, so she's getting into everything, opening cabinets and stuff. She has like a little walker, and whenever she starts walking, she be like, walk, 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 walk. And I'm like, she's so funny. It's just we always like prayed about having like a funny like baby girl. And she's hilarious. Like times when she sees people, she's smiling. She's like, hey, and looking at people and smiling, and from ear to ear, she's a happy baby.
What is it like for you? I mean, we all have bad days or whatever, but when you go home and see her, does bad days go away quick?
Not bad days I really don't have bad days. I feel like every time I come home, everything just goes away. Like I don't even think about what happened at practice today, or if I did something wrong. I just want to be in the moment with my wife and my baby girl. Sometimes, I get away sometimes and just get on my game, or I just be upstairs taking a nap or something. It's just like I want to be around my baby, and I want to be around my wife whenever I can. Yeah.
You mentioned your wife is trying to get into a master's program there. What does she want to do?
She has her bachelor's in biomedical sciences right now. She was thinking about being a doctor. If not, she's probably gonna take the nursing route. It's all that schooling that goes into it, being into like trying to become a doctor. So she doesn't know. She's on the fence right now. She doesn't know she wants to do all that schooling as far as everything. So yeah, I'm just trying to help as much as I can to get her into a master's program. She actually takes her test this weekend.
You still have how many brothers, sisters do you have?
I have 4 brothers and 3 sisters.
Okay, is most everybody still in Central Florida, or?
My older brother, his name is Edom. He's actually in I think Palm Beach right now. My sister, she's in Winter Haven right now. My older sister, and then my sister that's serving in the Army, she's in Hawaii. She's stationed in Hawaii. And then my older brother Donald, he's at UMass as a passing coordinator, I believe.
He played, right?
He played at Western Michigan with Coach Fleck, and he was at Minnesota with him, and now he's back. He was at Western, and now he's at Massachusetts right now. So he's had a whole bunch of transition as a coach. Yeah.
Row the boat.
Yeah. Yeah.
8 kids?
Huh?
8 kids?
Yeah, 8 of us.
Where are you in the lineup?
Middle. I'm the middle.
4th, 5th,
I'm like, let me see. It go Enos, Chantel, Sophie, Donald, Kinley, then me. So like I'm like the sixth. And then I have two under me.
Okay.
My little sister, she's still in high school, and then my little brother, he was actually at Yale playing basketball this past year, and they lost the first round to I think it was A&M. Yeah.
You've got a lot of siblings that are doing interesting things.
Yeah, my little sister actually, she's doing shot put, she does pretty good. She's actually pretty good now.
At high school?
Yeah, she's like a shot put thrower. I don't know if she does javelin or anything, but she does a lot of throwing. So hopefully she gets an offer somewhere and goes off to school, because that's what we've basically been doing. If it's not academics, it's sports, and we get into school. That's because like our parents don't have the means right now. Because my family is originally from Haiti, and when they got here, it's just like my older brothers and sisters. They're like, it's either you play a sport or you really good with academics, because you're not gonna go off to school if you don't get it together. So I had examples in front of me, and I have no choice but to get to where I'm at now.
So mom and dad both from Haiti?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you guys all were workers, right?
Yeah, basically, like my dad actually was here first, and he got incarcerated. I don't know the whole story, but my older sister told me that my dad got arrested trying to get us all here. So yeah, I just know that they work so hard, and like that's why I'm working so hard now to get to the league, because I just want my parents to like retire and not have to do anything, because I know they done so much for us. Yeah.
Thank you, Josh.
Appreciate y'all.
Stay healthy.
Thank you, appreciate you. No problem. Yeah, have a good one.
All right, good to see everybody again.
Thursday, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
we'll
what
be back
time?
Thursday.
What time is that game?
Which game?
The Friday night.
Friday's not open, so it's closed practice.